All right, let's get this show on the road. I'm still admitting people and bringing them in. But hello, everyone. This is the 6th GVDS Spotlight Awards. These awards are for people, they're peer-based. So people on different teams nominated their teammates for different things that they did throughout the course of the month that they were working together. We originally were going to do it last week. We're doing it this week just because there are teams that are still working on some of their challenges. But what I'll be doing is going through different categories of awards: design, facilitation, development, and going through our particular higher tier awards, which are our top 10 or best of the best and the MVP of the 6th GVDS. At any time, if you'd like, you can give your feedback on a global board that I set up earlier that I'll put again in chat for some of the people that are just coming in. And I'll put that up there again. And then what I'm going to do is also share another one, but I'll let you know what that is before I do. This is going to be the Spotlight Awards board. Give me 1 second. Okay. And I'll be sharing that on my screen also. All right. Let me start sharing, and then we'll be good to go. Now, this isn't just going to be me being a talking head. At any point, if you want to get on the mic and say something, you're more than welcome to do so. This isn't a turn-based kind of thing. But feel free to speak up if you'd like to at all. Okay. Some more people are coming in, but that's okay. All right. So we're going to move from left to right in this particular mural. We'll go through individual recognition awards, and you can read the comments that people have left for the person when they nominated them, so they get an idea of what they were nominated for and why they were nominated. We'll start with advising, design, facilitation. We'll go into team collaboration, and we also have the X factor, which are individuals that were didn't really fit into one particular role, but did multiple things on multiple levels. There's a team award also this time around. We also have the Andy Davis Best of the Best Awards, which is, if you read the little description up here, let me go dive into it, is that he was a 5-time recipient of this award in previous events. So this award's named after him, and this is for people that went above and beyond what they normally were asked to do for their team. And then finally, there's one MVP this time around. In previous times, we've had like 2 or like maybe somebody tied, but this one person stood out amongst their team in terms of like somebody who was spectacular and really made the difference. So are there any questions or anything that people would like to say before we get started? Anything at all? Otherwise, I'll dive right into it. All right, that's fine.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I was saying, let's go.
All right. Let's give it a go. All right, so we'll go to advising first, and I'm going to be doing a lot of this, which is I'll unlock everything, but do not look behind the curtain, the veiled curtain. Okay, so on the advising side, there were 2 people that were recognized. They were Pamela Smith and Nora Scully, and you can read the comments that are left for here. Both of them are people that have worked in the Global Virtual Design Sprint before, but their roles, especially Nora, she was a facilitator before, another award winner, but no surprise to me that Nora and Pamela are here. But yeah, it's good to see that they were recognized by other people for advising their teams and taking them where they needed to go. On the design front, let me go down here. I think what I'm going to do is I have these all grouped, but I'm going to do them a bit more individually rather than all at once. So the first one is Abhinav. Basically, he's somebody that took on, I believe he joined 2 teams. I may have gotten that wrong, but he worked in design on multiple teams this time around. There's Heather Perkins, which is a newcomer to the GVDS. She was part of a smaller group that came together to kind of see what the GVDS was about. We also had Ben Shi, who's someone that's been with the GVDS before. He was recognized for actually multiple things, but design was the prominent thing that the comments kind of spoke to. And then we have Andre Romero, who you could probably identify on the call because he's using the same the same banner. Yeah, Andre is, in my mind, was someone that's always been associated with great design. So it's no surprise that he's here as well. On the facilitation side, let me ungroup this really fast. We have 3 people. The first is Benno Lomborg. Benno is Mr. Democracy. I kind of chuckled when I saw this, but he's someone that really does have a unique ability to kind of bring disparate people together, different people from different backgrounds. So I was thrilled when he decided to facilitate this time around, and I'm glad he's recognized here. We also have Micah, who basically was very inclusive. I sat in a couple of sessions with them because my instruction set on some of the activities was not as intuitive as it could be, and it wasn't as clear as it should have been. So Micah was proactive in kind of saying, "Hey, Robert, do you mind coming in and kind of explaining this?" So yeah, it's Micah's also somebody that's been with the GVDS for a while, so totally understand that. Schumann is someone else that a couple of people had said that they really enjoyed their time with her and their facilitation. So I'm glad she's up here as well. The Top Team Award. Now, before I get into the rest, actually, I'll skip the Top Team Award because we got these. We have team collaboration. So clarifying team collaboration. These are awards where people felt that these individuals are kind of like the glue of the team. They had kind of kept them together, kept them focused. Were people that really kind of helped move conversations along or helped facilitate conversations. The first is Finn, who's here on the call. Finn, you can read the comments here, but Finn is someone who's a return from, I think, GVDS 4 is the last time you were here. But yeah, I definitely agree with the commentary here. Lisa Doyle is somebody that came back from the previous one. She was somebody that is very flexible, very collaborative, very skilled and experienced in user research. And I know she was probably a huge benefit for the team. We have Marilla. I would say Maria, not Marilla. Maria. She's new to GVDS. She's someone that was very involved with her team. See here, Stefania is another person that was recognized for her team inclusivity and also with collaboration. Tomas, who's been with the GVDS, I think we're 3 or 4 times. He's always somebody that's very highly collaborative, wants to hear other points of view. So no surprise to me that he's here as well. And then we have Shante, who's new this time around as well. A number of people made some commentary around her collaboration and kind of getting involved with the team, which is really good to see, especially since people who are new to the GVDS tend to be kind of like, what the hell is this thing? And not really no understanding what's going on or what to do. It's a lot to take on the first time around. Hang on a second. And the champions are Germany. There you go. And speaking of Shane, and speaking of X Factor, not that I'm forecasting anything, the X Factor Awards, well, look at that. Who happened to be here? I think the commentary says it all. I really don't need to add to it much there. The other X Factor Award that comes out is with Marcus. And Marcus, I've makes a lot of sense because he's someone that can kind of switch roles or switch hats pretty easily. Again, as somebody who was with the GVDS before, came back this time around. So yeah, when I was kind of compiling all these awards, it made perfect sense for me. So that's me kind of going at a very rapid pace to the individual awards. Does anyone want to make any commentary on any of the awards that were given this time around? And for reference, going forward, we're going to take a pause after I kind of show the awards so that if anybody wants to make any commentary that's on the call, they can do so. So any commentary on any of the individual awards that you see here, please, if you want to come off the mic or put something in chat, either way. And if you all just like to watch, you can do that too. Still Germany winning. They are great, all great professionals. Yes, that's true. Okay. All right, let's get going. So the rest of the time from here is going to be where I present the award and then ask for any feedback or any commentary. So that's a little bit slower pace than what we did first time around, since we're only 12 minutes after the hour and we kind of blaze through the individual ones. The GVDS Top Team Award, what I'd like to do before revealing this is in chat, if you could, go ahead and put a team name that you think is going to be behind this particular panel for the team award. I'll give about like 15 to 20 seconds to see if anybody's got any ideas of which team is kind of featured behind this panel. Like I said, go ahead and put in chat what you think is the team that should be there or that is there. And let's see. And I know that a lot of people are just going to put their team names in there, but that's the whole point, is just you kind of put in what you think should be in there. Tortoise, Starcat, Snacky Snack. I got 3. Anything else? No? All right, so between Snacky Snack, Tortoise, and Starcat, which one was it? And Firecat. The answer, birthday cake, of course. Well, Evalio's right. It was Team Birthday Cake. These were the commentaries that came through. Everyone spent a considerable amount of time and did a lot of efforts, having in mind that we did not know each other in advance. It was a fantastic experience and results. Another one was, it was a great learning and growing experience. The human interaction, constructive contribution of everybody, the rhythm and respect of diversity of all team members. And then finally, it was a great team to be in, full of supported and talented experts. So congratulations to Team Birthday Cake. It's a team that really came together and really supported each other. And it was probably the one team that was very careful about every single step to understand what they were doing. It was an interesting mix of both new and experienced professionals in the GVDS. So congratulations to the team. Any comments? Anybody from Team Birthday Cake beyond saying woohoo in the chat?
Yeah, I would be very happy to pick up with Team Birthday Cake again and do another GVDS. Now that we learned so much, I think we could go further. We could do sprint number 2.
Really.
I can't believe, so happy.
Right. Okay, cool. Yep. Another one could be in the works too. That's true. Okay, so these are the top 10 awards. So distinguishing between the individual and the top 10 awards. The top 10 awards are basically about multiple people nominating individuals and professionals for what they've done for the team. So the individual ones are to recognize when they're called out by their teammates for particular things that they've done. The top 10 awards are for practitioners across the spectrum in the event that did a little bit extra than usual. The way that this distinguishes from the best of the best and the MVP is that they made significant contributions to their team that were recognized by them. This isn't to say, and I'll caveat this, that that other people that are mentioned here didn't do a good job. It's just that other people took the time to comment on the kinds of things that they did. And again, I'll pause just to see if anyone has any commentary about these awards when they come up. I'm going to keep the chat up here just so I can keep track of what people are saying. Okay, so let me ungroup this and let's get started. So the first one I'm going to bring out is Alex. Now, Alex is someone that I know very well, that I've worked and collaborated with him very much. He was somebody that not only contributed the challenge around the design sprint union, but also just put his hat in the ring to facilitate the team. And he's someone that is very careful and articulate around how he facilitates. And so I think it's an award that's definitely he deserves. From what I understand from the team, he did very well in kind of moving things along with what they were doing. So anyone has any commentary they'd like to add about Alex or anything in chat? All right.
I didn't work with him this session. I mean, this GVDS, but I did in GVDS 5, and it was a wonderful experience. So he deserves that.
Yeah, I second that. I've worked with Alex in previous sprints, and very friendly, very informed, and his approach is one of motivating people with just the right level. So he allows people to fail a little bit so that they can learn from their experience.
He also has a podcast with Marcus. I forget the name of it, but there is something where we were just talking about the X Factor Awards. Him and Alex do a podcast and talk about different things related to innovation. So I think if you look him up on LinkedIn, and there you can double click his face here to basically take a look at his profile. It should have some of his back recordings if you're ever interested in that. Okay, let's move along. Next one we got coming up, and I'll center this a bit better this time, is, I wish I had a drum roll here. Just I had the glass like this maybe, is Jared Lowry. And he's new to the GVDS this time around. So full disclosure, I kept out of the teams as much as I could this time around because I wanted teams to kind of work on their own, at their own pace and without me kind of guiding them in a way that would lead them to a particular conclusion. So whenever I see new participants that to the GVDS that are featured in the top 10, it makes me really happy because this is ideally the perfect scenario where people on the team are recognizing their people's professionals and talents. If you remember Mohammed from last GVDS, he was somebody that was a huge surprise. And I think that Jared, based on the comments here and what I've heard from other people and seen in the channels, did a really good job at kind of, as the comments saying, basically being very helpful, bringing new insights and perspectives. So I'm very happy to see him here. Any commentary for Gerard?
I'll just speak up and say thanks. I totally did not expect that.
You're most welcome, Gerard. And you can thank the people that were on your team because that's where it came from. I didn't write these up.
Awesome.
Just for full disclosure, I'm not doctoring these like, oh, your team thought you were brilliant.
You're not that omniscient. Yeah, it had to come from teammates. Very cool.
I would have to say definitely not surprised. Jared was an absolute pleasure to work with, always turned up with a smile, and the bit about connecting the dots is absolutely true. It was, you brought something special to the team, Jared. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucy.
Okay, next up, let's see who we've got behind panel number 3. It's going to be Manny. Now, I have to comment on him because there's only one other person in the history I've done this event where someone has been so prolific in posting so much information and content for their team to basically look after or do, and especially with user interviews, with posting up. Was definitely one of the most active people I've seen on a Slack channel in the GVDS and since we've been doing the event. So I'll leave it at that. Does anybody on the call have any comments about Manny and their experience working with him, or just what they think of him in relation to this award? No? All right. Let's move along. Panel number 4. Next one is, I know I should have music, but I tried music last time, a little bit too loud. Martina. Martina is also new to the GVDS, and she was someone that basically stuck through a lot of stuff that the team was doing in terms of activities. She had a decisive perspective on the prototyping process. Or she basically contributed highly, it looks like, in strategy and research. For anybody that was on the team with Martina, could you make any additional comments beyond what's here about your experience with working with Martina?
Yeah, Martina was great. She opened our eyes to, thinking about our target population more carefully, and thinking about where people were coming from in terms of their tech readiness for a solution. So we went a little bit down from thinking about kind of smartphone users to something a little simpler to broaden the reach of what we designed. And Martina was a big driver of that. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lucy, go ahead.
Niels, on you go.
No, you, please.
She really pulled the cat out of the bag in the last 24 hours as well. From herself, she didn't really have very many contacts in India, as most of us didn't. So she did a lot of cold emails to different people over in India, and she managed to get in contact with somebody who was just the most perfect representative for us to discuss the prototype with. And in the last 24 hours, when we didn't think we were even going to be able to test it properly, she managed to set up an interview with somebody who had an outreach, a grassroots outreach of 80 women who would do doorstep support for the elderly in a small community in India. And without that, I mean, I'm not quite sure how we could have wrapped it up properly. So that was just amazing.
Yeah, Lucy, absolutely agree on what you just said. She really made the finish with our design sprint going to a prototyping, right? Or the other way around it was actually. Yeah, really like that.
Thank you for all of that. Next up, we have Sachin. Sachin is a GVDS, I would say, alumni in the greatest sense of the word. Decided he was on the fence about trying to join two different teams, decided to do so. I've always known to be very collaborative and highly designed mind. But if anyone has worked with Sachin here on the call, feel free to make comments around your experience with him or anything that might reflect the award that he's been given. And if not, move on to the next one. This is number 6 out of the 10. And by the way, these are no in particular order. So the first one isn't like the first out of the top 10. They're just basically all in the same space. Tatiana is new to the GVDS. Let me see. Hang on a minute. Basically, she was someone that was very highly involved with user interviews. Hopefully did a lot of different research for the challenge that the team had done. If anybody was on the same team as Tatiana, please feel free to comment on this particular award that she's been given. I completely forgot she was from France. For some reason, I didn't think she was. I don't know why. No? Okay. And by the way, Pamela, you just joined the call. I just want to back up just a little bit. You were the first person that we featured there advising. So in case I don't forget if you, because you joined a little late. That's that we have featured you right at the very beginning, so that you did get an award, an individual award earlier on. Let's see. Number 7, we have Christina, who is someone who is, I think she was featured as the best of the best last time around at GVDS 5. Somebody was looking forward to being on the new team this time around. This is their second GVDS. Someone who wanted to take their experience the first time around and apply it in a different way with their new team. If anyone has any comments about working with Christina, please speak up. No? Right. Number 8 is Minu. Again, somebody who's been with the GVDS before. Somebody who was another best of the best winner the past time around. Very, I would say, highly experienced in facilitation. One of the better ones that I've seen in my career. She's someone who's perfectly comfortable with leading a team and kind of going in different directions with it. But again, I'm talking in third person. So if anybody has direct experience with working with Manu, please feel free to speak up.
Yeah, it was really great to work with Minu and to have her as a facilitator most of the workshops. Was learned a lot from her.
All right. Go down to number 9. I know this one's a little bit bigger, but that's okay. The Verena. And Verena is someone that was part of GVDS 3 and 4 before, and she came back for 6. She's usually somebody that's really good at bringing I think she was in for a specialist, but for people in that role, they typically bring in business planning, they bring in perspective, project management. So I'm really happy that she's here and she was recognized. Does anyone have any commentary around working with Verena if she was on your team? And if no, go ahead.
Verena was great. I will say the thing I most remember is that she loved to have the pirate filter on her face. So it's odd to see this headshot of her and be like, oh, that's what she really looks like.
You're expecting the eye patch is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, Jared, you're so true. I was just expecting also one comment of her backgrounds. I like the one with where you was like with the deer top, right? And among the trees, she was kind of hiding. So she always had this kind of great style during our session. We like that.
Sure did.
On top of the comments, obviously.
Exactly, the actual work.
And finally, we have Iva. Now, Iva is also an award winner of the past from the previous GVDSs. This was, her team was unique in that they didn't pick any of the posted challenges and actually went after something that was closer to what she was doing for her business. So if anyone would like to make any comments beyond what's being said here in the award, please feel free to do so.
Yeah, I'll have to chime in. Iva was, I've worked with her in the past and again on this GVDS, and she's just a wonderful teammate to work with. She brings a lot of insight, a lot of pragmatism to the equation, and really kind of helps the team stay grounded. Sometimes during sprints, you can sort of start getting a grandiose vision, and she really helped bring us back to what the product was about and really the crux of where we're going and focus. So she was just fantastic.
Kind of timely, Andy, that you're the person that's talking right now, because we're about to go into the awards that bear your name. And again, I will say it in case you didn't miss it in the beginning. So Andy has his own award here, and the reason why he does is because, hang on, is this locked? Yeah, we better lock this down. All right. The reason why he does is because from the very beginning of the event, Andy's been winning this consecutively. I mean, like 5 of these, if I recall, Andy, that you've been basically getting the best of the best. Now, this award is essentially something that goes a little bit above the top 10, where multiple team members have basically said that these individuals were above and beyond what normally people would have asked them to do on the team. Now, before I start revealing these, like I asked before, I'd like you to go ahead and put in the chat who you think these awards have been given to. I won't give any clues yet. I'm just going to take a look at what people put in the chat. But if you could, elicit some names that you think like if I reveal the panel, who would you expect to see here? That's why I think I'm asking. But I'll wait about 30 seconds to see if anyone puts any names before I start putting out there. I will say that the people who are behind these 2 panels are newcomers to the GVDS. So they are not alumni. That should be your only clue. Anyone? Andy, you have any guesses since this is your award?
Oh my gosh. Well, I only worked with one team this go round. And we had, I think Ashanti was our only newcomer. So that would be the only name I could sort of drop out there. Okay. But from the looks of it, we had a lot of amazing newcomers this go round. So I'm excited to see.
Yep. All right. I'll give it a go. The first one, this is the best, and but I'll go into that at the end. The first one we're going to feature, let me zoom in a little bit. Still no guesses. All right, here we go. It's going to be Lucy. Now, Lucy was somebody that basically had a lot of commentary around her positive attitude, her contributions to the team, how she personifies empathy. So this is someone that when I first started asking for the awards, her name kept on popping up in my email going, okay, her team really likes her. They really think she's valuable. So when I was compiling these comments and kind of bringing them together, Lucy, it seems like the whole team really, really appreciated not only your approach to the challenge, but also collaborating and working with one another, working with others. So what's your reaction to getting this award?
I'm actually, it's a bit silly. I'm actually trembling a little bit. I am completely surprised, and I think it's really, really wonderful. I would never ever have thought my name would be there. I feel like one of those actresses winning the Oscars, and she totally thought it would be everybody else. And thanks, that's really made my day, and I'm a bit speechless. So it was just such a wonderful experience overall. I mean, we were all just so lucky with our team. We took a difficult challenge, but everybody pulled together, and so I nominate everybody else. But thanks. I'll definitely take a screenshot and send it to my mum. She'd be so proud. Thanks.
I'll do it right now, actually, since I'm in the middle of doing this.
All right, I already did it.
All right, you already did it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Any comments from their team members on Lucy's award here?
Congratulations.
Yeah, what can I say, Lucy? Congratulations. It's really great. Very well deserved.
Yeah, I strongly second all of that that's written there, especially her work on the prototype. That was huge.
Thanks, guys. It wasn't even a prototype. It's just designs. It's just flat designs in a mobile screen. Wait till you see what else I can do. Thank you very much.
Right. So now we got one, the other. Again, any guesses as to who this person is before I reveal them? You can put them in chat. You can say them on mic. Either way. The only clue I gave is that they're a newcomer to the GVDS. So that should narrow it down a bit. There were about a third of the people that were involved were brand new to the event. And he already gave his comments, but I'll go ahead and reveal the second person. It's Ruby Matthew. And Ruby was someone that that someone wrote a very involved kind of description about why she should be considered for an award. I think that says it all. I don't think is she currently here on the call? I don't know if she is. I think she wasn't able to join, but no, that's okay. Oh no, she is here.
Hi.
Ruby, are you here?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I'm here. Rob.
Hey.
Hi.
So
Hi.
what do you think about winning the Best of the Best award this time around?
It feels great. It feels awesome. But I think it was all of the team Tortoise. We had a lovely team led by Niels and everybody else. So I think it was a lovely experience. Lovely. Thank you.
And any comments with working with Ruby for the people that were on her team?
That second paragraph is so right. Ruby had a ton going on, and still, showed up with great presence and clarity on our calls.
Exactly, because in India, it was already very, very late and was right before bedtime, right? When you joined ours. Thanks very much. It was really, really cool working with you.
Yeah,
I loved it. I loved every bit of it. If I could have recorded some of those moments, it would have been lovely, but it was lovely. Thank you.
That was the thing, Ruby. We could tell you loved it. Like, despite the late hour, you turned up with your big smile and your great energy. And at some point, it was just bedtime. And that was totally fair enough after your full-on day and being a mum and doing your other sprint the hours before. So you did so well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for Lucy and Ruby, for both of you for trying out the GVDS. I'm really happy that it came together for both of you and both your teams and for the event. So very happy to see both of you here. Now, before I get into the most valuable practitioner, there's a couple of things I need to point out. One of the things that's not marketed or pronounced or said a lot is that these awards aren't just awards for the sake of kind of recognizing people. They also have a pay it forward kind of deal where if you decide to join for another GVDS in the future, these awards also mean that you're getting discounts on the entry fees, and you can basically enter as late as you want into the next GVDS. So depending on which tier you come in on, whether it's top 10, best of the best, or MVP, those discounts cascade into the next event. If you become a most valuable practitioner of the award, then the discounts are for life. So if you've been someone that was an MVP, say for GVDS 2 or GVDS 3, like Sandy Lamb was, then anytime we do these kinds of events, she has the same kind of heavily discounted fee to get into a future event. So there's the recognition by your peers of this, but it's also the recognition of me as an organizer to say, like, you basically bring a team together in a really unique way. I like to bring you back, but also give you some incentive to do so. That hasn't been explicitly said in previous award events, but I do want to kind of point that out. Another thing that I was late in doing before that I want to make sure that everyone knows now is there's going to be award badges sent out for these particular awards. So like I did in the previous one, I'm going to be putting these together for social media. So I've already revealed who the MVP is. Surprise, Niels. And Ruby and Lucy are also here as well, but the top 10 recipients are also going to be part of this engagement, so that if you want to use these for your own purposes, you can. So as I've kind of already revealed accidentally, the Spotlight Award for the MVP goes to Niels. And the commentary is all here. I've highlighted the things that correspond to why he's been voted the MVP. It was close, actually, between Niels, Lucy, and Ruby. The votes were extremely close, but Niels came out just slightly ahead. And again, he's somebody that was part of the GVDS before. I'll always remember with him that our first engagement was me getting his emails wrong and sending all of his notifications to the wrong email address. But over time, I've heard consistently some of the comments that are here that he has a very clear and structured way of doing the design sprint process. He's very smooth, very organized. He remains calm and focused. So Niels, even though I kind of messed up your presentation on this, what's your reaction to winning the MVP this time around?
Actually, I'm really surprised. Don't know really what to say. I haven't prepared any speech. Yeah, no, really great. And it was just such a fun week with all my teammates. I mean, they all got all some other awards. I think this tells a lot about the quality time we really had, and also really some great results and a lot of fantastic learnings we had. So really thanks a lot to all of you. Been great. Cool.
Any comments from people that were worked with Niels that'd like to kind of expound on the commentary that's been put here?
Totally second what every word that's written about Niels. It was a absolutely lovely experience. In fact, the way he used to lead the team, it was almost meditative. You know, it's so calm, composed, even when there are disagreements, the way he navigates. I mean, I wish I could just get a little bit of that, 10% probably. I think I could do wonders. So very well deserved, and congratulations, Neil. Congratulations.
Absolutely. And Lucy had it right in the chat. Surprised not to have seen his name before. So this explains it. We were waiting for the big reveal to see Niels' name.
Yeah, Niels, you were fantastic. I think I mentioned before, we just picked quite a tough challenge, and you kept us moving forwards through all the sticky moments, and you did it with grace. And I loved your check-in and check-outs. They were great. You were steadfast about them. There was no not checking in and not checking out. And I missed them when we didn't do them. So I thank you very much.
Thank you all. Been really great. And next week we meet again and we have a check-in and a check-out, Lucy.
I'm having a serious case of FOMO, missing your session, missing your check-ins and check-out. I'm trying to do it in my meeting, but doesn't come.
Yeah, I have to add on this also Maria and Ruby and Lucy and Jared and Martina, we were also handing in our prototype to the datathon. So this was also an extra effort our team took and managed to take, even after that week of the prototyping, which was quite tough. So I'm really happy that we had all this energy and moved forward to actually come from this kind of only exercising and trying something out to some real result that maybe this goes even a step further. So yeah, really, really cool.
So that is it. That's pretty much all of the awards we got to hand out this time around. Again, I'm going to zoom out a bit to kind of show this all around. I'll be sharing this on social a little bit later. And again, like I said before, there's award badges that go out for everyone that have won an award. I've got to just have to create them in Figma, but I'll send those out for your own purposes and for whatever you want to do on LinkedIn or Instagram or any place else that you like. I'll spend the last like 15 minutes, I'll go to the top of the hour for the global feedback. So again, if you don't have this, I'm going to share it into the chat again. The reason why I keep asking for feedback is that it's highly valuable for me to figure out where to go with these particular events in the future. Let's see here. Bink, go there. So if you do have any feedback, the way it's the same feedback, or sorry, it's the same kind of thing that you've seen before, is that these are all comments that people have made. If you see a comment that you like or that you have an affinity with, you can drag one of these hearts and bring them over to one of the comments. So it's not just for decoration. This is for actual use and kind of putting where you feel the comment is. You can do this now in the event, or you can do it later, whatever you like to do. It's totally up to you. But this goes into different things. So it's what went well with the team I was on, the challenge, the sprint dash process, and the overall experience of the GVDS. Same thing with this middle one, which says, I wish this would have happened with all four of the same categories. And then the top one over here in the stars is I wonder about, and then there's the next GVDS where you can put in some comments around where you think it could go. Also on this particular mural, I try to collect as many of the photographs from each of the teams as I could. I think I'm missing one from Team Poobador, just because it was posted, I think, a little bit late yesterday, but I think I included everyone else's in here. So all you really have to do is just right click on the image, and you should be able to download the image just fine in case you wanted a central place where all the images were put. You can keep those for your own purposes. So at this point, it's pretty much open to everyone that wants to make a comment about the event this time around, or any kind of questions, anything you like to kind of talk about, so that I won't be the person that's always leading the discussion. So if you'd like to, you can come off mic, give your thoughts about what you experienced with the GVDS. You can put them in chat, but feel free to put in your comments with what you thought about the event. So does anyone have any commentary before we wrap things up at the top of the hour? Anybody on the call would like to say something? It could be a shout out to somebody else. It could be a comment about the event. I'd love to hear from you.
I'd like to shout out to the board creator. Is it Sandy? It looks like Sandy.
Which one? For the global feedback board?
This one, yeah.
I did it.
You did it. All right.
Yeah.
The apprentice has become the master. Looks great.
It really
Thanks.
does. I'm enjoying the
Invites engagement.
Yeah. I figured if I spent some time and just tried to do my hand at what I saw both you, Shane, and Sandy and other people doing, and trying to see if I could make some visual analogies on certain things, especially with clusters of like lights, I figured I'd give it a shot. It's kind of one of those things where I know what the masters can do and put in here like what I think is close to that or kind of like that, but I appreciate the commentary, Shane.
Nicely done.
I particularly like the different colored blue on the outside of the outer post-it notes. I think interspersing variety of colors really makes it pop in the middle, and add variety.
Yep. And lots of motion.
Yep.
And by the way, if you wanted to get Verina's like pirate look, there you go. That was one of the shots there before. Although
complete with, yeah.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
But Jared is also very famous. Jared, your virtual background.
Yeah, so Verena's is complete with virtual facial hair, whereas I couldn't get filters to work, so I put Post-it notes on my head.
Yeah.
Opposite ends of the tech spectrum.
Yeah, Coffin Fish. There were a couple of people that since this event went beyond like the normal time, we actually had teams working past week 4. There's some people that were dialing in from where they were on vacation, like Julie, who's basically dialing in from a beach. I think there was one other one where someone else was on vacation, but they still came in. I think that was on. I believe that was on birthday cake. There's somebody else that was coming in from a different
I did
location.
it from the airport. It was funny. People were looking at me like I was crazy, going around with a computer and a Zoom call while I was checking in my luggage.
Is this it right here, Alyssa?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
It was fun though.
Yeah. I was also trying to figure out what filter people seemed to like the most, and it seemed like either Piggy or Cyclops was a dominant one with all this with the Snapchats that I saw, or sorry, the Snap cameras. So, any other comments? Anything y'all would like to say about the events? Anything you'd like to kind of close it out with?
When is the next one?
I don't know. I'm debating whether or not to do another one this year or to make it a yearly thing and just basically wait till next year. If that's too long, then the next one would probably be I figured it's probably going to be September or around that time. Because October seems a little bit too late. October, people are trying to get their work done for their employers or other people, and they're trying to close it out before they get their holidays. So August seems a little bit too early because people are still on vacation mode. So September seems like right around the time where people are getting their kids back in school. There's a little bit of bandwidth there. So I may like kind of float the idea of doing one then. And I'm also debating whether or not to change the nature of it so that it's not just design sprint centric, and it could be where we try different methods, but we still have the same instruction set. So there'll maybe be a guide to doing things from the perspective of like there's one process that I've been seeing a lot of people try out a lot, and giving people the teams an option of saying, okay, you can do a design sprint, you can do a prototype, or you can do this one. And then the instruction sets of the first two are already kind of set. But then the third one would be a new feature where you can go, okay, we can try this particular route if you want to have this particular outcome. I don't know yet, but I think I'm moving a bit away from being just design sprint centric and giving teams an option to try different methodologies. One thing I'm curious about is that I made a concerted effort to make sure that communications, to Shane's point earlier, at the very beginning of the month of last month, was that all the communications were in one spot. So you weren't looking in multiple spaces. I didn't try to use social media, put updates there to kind of fragment all the commentary. Did the email communication Slack channel combination work with most of you? Was there anything that you want to change about that?
I thought it was great. It really helped. I mean, I still got lost because, ADD, but it really helped a lot. What would have been like the only way you could possibly level that channel, because you always need to have different people need different styles. So you always need to service at least 2 channels, but it would be great to level the whole process up into a visualization where you're just really tracking where you are as you move along it, and then have you know what I mean? So you have the whole things. Imagine if it was a long painting, slowly in watercolors, filling in as you move through the GVDS with Robert's comments on the side.
Would that produce any kind of anxiety for people that are moving much slower than other people in terms of the pace that they should be going at?
You could let them have their own template that they pull the reveal part on.
Maybe maybe the analogy is different trains. You have the high-speed train where people know what they're doing and they're just like, they're going to get to Europe in 2 hours on a Sonic train. Then you have the normal kind of gas-powered or electric train that goes at a normal pace. And then you have the person, the 2 pulley thing where basically they're going back and forth and basically going at a slower pace, but enjoying the view. Yeah. So it could be 3 different speeds.
That could be cool. I would also agree that email and Slack combination worked pretty nicely. I mostly read the emails, but then, saw over on Slack that, okay, he sent that in the communications channel too, that kind of thing, which was good, not overkill, but a good amount of coverage. I'd also just add real fast, Robert, I've got to run soon, but rarely have I seen somebody include their kid in a more chill way when like he needs a little something from you, but you're on screen. It's awesome. Very well handled. And I don't know if the award more goes to you or to your son, but that was always very charming to see.
Definitely my son. He'll take all the credit whenever he can get it. So he could just have it. It's fine. So Shane says, please announce it really early. I will do that. I'll probably do it next month so that it's pretty much there on the books if people want to get involved with it. I'm just reading through the comments now. More focused emails and use of Slack on team level really helped. Yep. Timeline view would be cool. Yeah. I think, I'll have to think about how to do that in a way that makes sense for people in terms of what it's been, or I mean, how you can visualize where it's going to go. I apologize for having some of the templates out a little late. I try to get those out as fast as possible, but there was a definite improvement over the last time where I was really late for some of them. But this time around, I did a better job with it. Yeah, and I know that people have to move. So if you all have to leave for your 9 o'clock or get ready for it, then please do so. At this point, we're just kind of making comments on different things that happen within the event. Again, I'll make sure that everyone knows that the badges that I showed before are going to be coming out probably over the weekend as I work them through. They work across Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you want a custom format for a particular platform that I hadn't mentioned, then just let me know, and it's real easy to do in Figma. What I would encourage you also to do is to share it on social once you do have the ability to do so, not for my benefit, but to let people know that you were involved with this and that they can collaborate and connect with you when they see something interesting, whether it's the work that your team did, the prototype that you had done, your team photos, anything that you feel is of worth. But it's definitely something that you should put out there in social for people to pay attention to or consider, especially if you're someone that's looking for an opportunity or for a job or to make connections. They go a long way with kind of corresponding your efforts and your professional focus with what people are seeking you out for. So yeah, definitely do that if you have time. And if you're not sure how to do that, let me know and I can show you how to do it.
Robert, I've got to drop, but just real quick, I wanted to thank you again for putting on this event and supporting this entire community. You just do a wonderful job, and it's a tireless effort, and I really appreciate it. And congratulations to everybody. It's great to see all the new faces, and always looking forward to the next one. So thank you very much. Y'all have a great one. I will see everybody soon.
Definitely. On that note, I'm going to follow suit. Robert. You're welcome. I'll be closing everything down. So thanks again. Oh, one thing we want to do before we leave real quick is that I'll stop sharing. And just for the memory's sake, I'll take one last screenshot of everyone that's here. I'll put on the gallery. And for the people that are still on the call, go ahead and put any kind of pose you want. There's no real theme to it. So maybe let me close this participant thing here so I get a full one. Yes, I'll do the same, Elizabeth. I'll kind of go, okay, so situated, make sure I'm good for the camera. Okay, here you go. And are you ready? Yeah, upside down. There you go, Lucy. That's perfect. All right. And hey, Wallace, that works perfectly well. On the count of 3, see you later. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciate you coming and being part of the GVDS. We'll hopefully see you next time. Be sure to comment on social, like I said, about your experience. And if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about or basically want to collaborate in the future, please reach out and do so. But until then, bye, everyone. Thank you very much for coming by and being part of the awards. See you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.